Welcome everyone. My name is Ariel Yudam Chung. I go by she, her, and I'm this year's shootout coordinator. A brief explanation: the Asian American Film Lab is a nonprofit devoted to the promotion and support of gender and racial parity in film and television programming. And the 72-hour shootout is the Film Lab's annual global filmmaking competition celebrating diversity in front of and behind the camera. This workshop is part of the Shootout's programming to increase accessibility and help our fellow filmmakers to take a step further into their career or artistic endeavor. So, give a little clap to Toy. I know that Toy was a participant before in the shootout and also won Best Actors in Grand Prize. So if you're a contestant, you might have some big questions for her, but I'll give the platform to Toy now.
Hey everybody, yes, well, since it's a very small kind of situation here right now, we could keep it short. What I want to do is just kind of answer your questions if you have any. I think the action films are doing well, I hear, so it's pretty awesome. A little bit about myself: I've always been into action films. It's not like this was something that I happened to do that year. In 2015, my film Boxer, which you can see the trailer if you want, and I'll put it in the chat actually. And you can check that out on your own time. Or maybe I should play it. Maybe I should play it since this is
Yeah, go for it. I would love to see it.
Yeah, since this is, exactly what this is about. It's only 45 seconds, so it's a good thing. All right. Oh, shit. Ah, finger's not working.
What is not working?
My fingers.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. We can just watch it real quick together. I'm going to put the volume up really loud so we get through my microphone.
I have a son. He's 12. Jack asks me what I do for a living. I tell him I'm a boxer. My clients like me because I'm unexpected. Nobody expects me. Not even the clients.
And there you go. Pretty easy. So that was my film, the trailer for my film anyway. We won grand prize. We went on to have an awesome festival run. It actually put me on the map as a director. Good things are happening now. What I wanted to talk about with action films is that I don't know, Hideki or Terry, have you done action before, or are you just trying to learn it? Just give me an idea of where you're starting from so that I can actually, I'm not boring you with beginner stuff or going too advanced for you.
Yeah, I haven't done action. I thank you for asking. I'm interested in it. I did write a short film script. It's like 16 pages long. And as far as action goes, like there is this hospital scene. I'm like, oh wow, I don't know how I would film that. Like with it. And the idea would be it would be my 82-year-old, we think she's about 82-year-old mom, like, so who has heart failure. So of course they don't want her to like be overworked or anything like that. So, but yeah, that's the closest I would come in terms of action.
Okay. What about you, Hidetaka?
Yeah, like I just signed up because I was really just interested in the topic, and like I wanted to learn the basic. Like I think myself, like I like studied like stage combat before and like filming that and stuff, and then like I was thinking about like writing a short film based around Aikido. So yeah, just like yeah, just here to like learn the basics, or just like how to approach, like even just like maybe in the writing stage, like how to approach action. And yeah,
That's a great question, and I'll answer that. Paul, what about you?
I write plays, and over the last 3 years, I've directed about 18 of my plays as screen productions as well as live on stage. So basically, I'm writing motion pictures for the stage, but we're seeing them on Zoom. And I like to transition to actually doing it as a motion picture feature, and not simply as a stage play, which reaches a much more limited audience.
Right. Okay. So okay, I will start from the beginning then, because it sounds like we need to start from the beginning. All right. First of all, Terry, I'm going to play a clip here based upon what you said. This is actually one of my, I have a whole bunch of clips, and I will put the link in the chat so you can look at it later on your own. And I'm just going to show the first, 15 seconds. But you might find it interesting. Here's the link, and I'm going to share again then. Okay. There you go, Terry. That's how you do a hospital scene right there. This is actually from John Woo, his film called Hard Boiled. It is actually this scene, I think, is taught in film schools. If it isn't, it should be. And if I was teaching in film schools, that's what I would show. It's notable for its oneer. It's a oneer. All the explosions, all the people jumping out at the same time, and the camera in coordination with the people, blah, 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 blah. And extremely, extremely classic. Okay, so where do I start? Action directing.
What is a oneer?
A oneer is there's no cuts. So this is a 3-minute scene, and there's no cut. It goes on for 3 minutes. And if you're talking about the coordination for all these stunt people to jump through windows, to all the smoke bombs to go off, all the flashes to go off, all the even the camera guy who needs to have a little bit of, or gal who needs to have stamina to be able to run through all this with them. It's quite a feat. It's truly a feat. Okay, so the oh, by the way, feel free, since it's so small, feel free to jump in with questions like that. I'm totally cool with it, because we're going to break this down, and then you'll certainly have questions. Now, by the way, I've been doing action films. I mean, that's why I started making films, was for action films. My very first film was an action film. It actually was a 2012 entry into Film Lab. Film Lab was basically what started me off as a filmmaker. So, and I've since developed people know that that's what I do. I make action films. So the first things first is to understand that. So in a lot of film schools, a lot of kids, they want to do I mean, everybody wants to do action. As it turns out, I've discovered now everybody wants to do action films. They've just been too intimidated by it, or didn't know how to get started. It's it's a lot of work, it's a lot of planning, blah blah blah. It actually adds double to your pre-production. It adds double to your post-production if you don't. It certainly if the first time you're ever making an action film versus a non-action film. So how do you even get into this? Well, first of all, when you watch film school or first time triers of this, they inevitably fail because they believe that actors can do the action. Right now, that may be true for some actors. And when I mean some, I mean like 5%. Okay. All right. The big thing is that if your performers don't have the skills, and it's not just acting, it's physical skills, like they probably, they at least have to have some sort of dance background, because then they know where to go. If we watch this hospital scene over again, look at everything is very choreographed, including the camera. Okay, so when you see Chow Yun-fat going from one side of the hall to the other side, that was very planned. It wasn't like, I'm just going to go over there, because he has to work in conjunction with the camera going behind him. So if he goes over here, the camera wants to be over here or over here, depending on what the shot is, and then when he switches over, then they switch over like this. And that's very planned. Okay, so if you don't have an actor who can actually move the blocking in conjunction with the camera, then you're going to have a problem. You're going to be there for a 20-hour day. Okay, so so the thing is that Chow Yun-fat, Jackie Chan, Michelle Yeoh, they, Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde, they make it look easy, but you don't know. But I mean, Jackie Chan was training since he was 5 for 15 years before he started being on set, right? Michelle Yeoh was a dancer for 10 years before she started moving over into action films. Jet Li, the same thing. He was a national wushu he was a wushu kid as a 10-year-old on the national team before he started making movies. Their acting is not the best. Michelle's acting is great now, but that took time. So you might find a great actor who can emotionally act, but if they can't move their feet doing an action film, it's really, you might not, there's a really good chance you really shouldn't, you're gonna fail during, the shoot date will probably fail. So understand that first. And I'm not saying that to be a negative Nancy. I'm just saying this is what to look out for when you're casting. Okay. So make sure you cast someone who can actually move their feet. I personally have been training for 20 years. I teach martial arts. So that's why you see me in Boxer doing that stuff. That wasn't stuff that was for free. You know what I'm saying? That guy, there's a guy flipping in my trailer. He's actually in Everything Everywhere. He's one of the stuntmen in Everything Everywhere with Michelle Yeoh. He sent me a picture from the set. I was so jealous. He was flipping on his bed from 5 years old till 18 years old, literally every day for hours in order to do those flips. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So now the thing you can do is you can try to find people who are, especially if you're doing I'm assuming you guys are doing an entry into the shootout, right? Yeah. What you can do is, by the way, this is why action films are expensive. It requires, you have to hire stunt people, you have to hire fight choreographers, stunt coordinator, you have to hire I'm sure they had an armorer on set on Hard Boiled and stuff like that. And you definitely don't want to run into problems like Rust, where somebody gets killed. Okay. By the way, I know that DP. She's a friend of mine. So this is not cool, right? She was a friend of mine. We were actually supposed to shoot an action film together. I mean, it's not cool. So, and how many times have I been hit by an actor? Several times. I personally have been hit in the face by an actor. And it's because they don't have the skills, because I don't train. So how do you get around this, especially in film lab? All right, especially if you've got no money. Well, there's lots of ways to get around it. You can not get around it, but mitigate risk. Okay, one is beginning stuntmen. Beginning stuntmen always need something for their reel. Like this guy here, the guy who's flipping. He was just starting out in his career. He's a friend of mine. He was just starting out in his career. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll come help you. I need, and I said, and I said, look, Narayan, what do you want for your reel? He goes, oh, I want to do a thing where I'm flipping through the air and shooting double guns. And I'm like, you got it. I'll choreograph that in for you. And we did it. And he was very happy with that film, by the way. And that was on his reel for several years until he got better stuff. Always do something where people can do something for their reel, because then they'll come back and work for you again and again and again, and they won't necessarily press you for getting paid, or they'll do a little extra for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you get around. There's tons of beginning stunt people out there. They're looking for stuff for their reel, and if you feature their face doing something, they'll be happy to work for you. Okay, you will need a fight choreographer to do that. If you're going to do fights, you're going to need a fight choreographer to do that as well. If you and again, there's fight choreographers out there that need something for their reel, and as long as you let them do the shooting, you take their advice on how to shoot it, then they would probably be very, very happy. By the way, there's other types of action. It's not just about fights. There's the motorcycle, as you guys maybe have all seen John Wick, the motorcycle thing, that or Mad Max Fury Road, all the car stuff, those are all stunts. I mean, you don't have cars flipping through the air and getting set on fire without stunt people, that's for sure. All right, so there's all different types of stunts. Wonder Woman, you have the big island scene, and or Game of Thrones, and there's a giant fight, and there's people stampeding down the strand with horses. There's horse riders that are stunts. I mean, not everybody likes to ride a horse. Most actors, Jean-Claude Van Damme is famous for being afraid of horses, riding horses. So so I mean, who knows? You guys might have a horse in your backyard. I don't know, but think of the things that you have, and shoot an action scene. And if you're going to shoot an action scene for a film, as a first-time action director, you should probably do a couple of rehearsal shoots before you actually just step up on. Okay. Where the camera is very important. I'm going to play a little bit of Hard Boiled, and you'll see how the camera moves with Chow Yun-fat as he's progressing down the hallway. Okay, so we'll take a look at that and know that those are very important. They have to work in coordination with each other. They're just not kind of randomly doing shit. Okay, hold on. Let's watch this. So this is a great example of what did you see how when Chow Yun-fat moved out in the hallway, the camera went with him, right? And then the other guy cut in front of him, and then the camera pointed to his POV. And then we get in here, and the camera's behind them now, showing the viewers exactly what's going on. Did you see that? Did you see how that camera was working? Right? Okay. All right. Is this helpful? I'm not really quite sure. So maybe it might be too much, it might be too little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it for questions right now if you have any questions, and then I can give more examples and clarify what might be burning in your head. Hi, sure. I mean, just shout it out. It's okay. There's just a few of us here.
Yeah, I guess can you speak a little bit about like even in the writing process, how you think about?
Oh, the writing. Yes, I wanted to ask it. I want to answer that.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me of that. So in the writing process, you know what I do when I write? When I'm writing a fight scene, they fight. That's it. Why do I do that? Because Hidetaka, I have a feeling that you don't know anything about fight choreography. So why should you come up with the fight? Leave the fight choreography to the fight choreographer. The only things you need to write in there is they fight, maybe, and as a result, he's got a broken leg. So that so that your art department knows you have to have a cast. And in your following scenes, everyone knows why the person has a cast on their leg. Or why they're limping. You know what I mean? Because that probably plays into the story further down the line. Oh, he's limping because he got in a fight. Now he can't use his right leg, and now he dies. He trips and falls and he dies. You know what I'm saying? So you need to put that stuff in there. But really, all I ever do is write, they fight.
That makes sense. It's because you're also drawing.
It's not your job.
You're also drawing on the energy and the chemistry between the actors. It would be the same as in a kissing scene. You don't tell them physically every moment of the kissing scene. It also occurs to me as you talk about the importance of choreography that this applies also to non-action movies, classics like Dreyer's Passion of Joan of Arc or Bergman's Seventh Seal. Choreography is important, although they're not action movies.
Absolutely. Paul, what a great point. And I will tell you why that's you killed it. So I just made a film called Moon. That's a still from my new film. It's like the first, it's not an action film, if you can believe it. In fact, all of my producer who produced me, was like, she was like, she always wants to work with me, right? And then I showed her this and she's like, she thought it was an action film. And I was like, she's like, where did this come from? But I will tell you that there's a scene in there, or there are several scenes. Actually, there's one scene in there in particular where there's two, actually. All right, regardless, I choreographed the camera and I choreographed where people are going to be. And let me tell you, it was very easy. It's very easy for me to direct blocking, because directing non-action blocking is like directing action blocking on volume. So if you can direct action with a camera and your actors, I promise you that when you start directing non-action, it's like slow motion. It's easy. It's very easy. And it is one of my strengths as a director, that I know exactly, like I'll jump on set and I'll be like, oh, camera here, blah, 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 blah. You go there, camera goes over there, and do this thing, very easy. So Paul, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. You always need to know where your camera is. You always need to figure out what the most appropriate angle is. The most appropriate angle is to tell the story the way you want to tell the story that gives you the most impact for that scene. Right? And it's especially prevalent in action directing.
Do you have any like resources that you like sharing when like looking into these kind of stuff?
Well, I don't live in New York, so I don't have resources in New York,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
or like books or
Oh,
like,
books.
yeah.
Okay, so I will put a list of all these links that I was gonna maybe possibly, right? What you need to do is watch this stuff. There's no books. It's about watching and doing. Watching and doing. The best thing you do is, I used to play guitar, and the best thing the teachers that used to tell me, the best thing to do, go find, what's your favorite song? Oh, it's Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Go learn that guitar solo. That's it. And here it is with film. Go watch that film. Try to reproduce something, some part of that film. Like, for example, you could do this anywhere. You could do this in your apartment building, which is this hallway scene. Just get two of your friends and you behind the camera, use your phone camera, and you guys just choreograph exactly the footwork that they're doing to go down that hallway and turning in the corner. All right? Don't read a book. Just do. By the way, I'm not a big book reader. But also I don't believe it. I believe that it's helpful after the fact to fill in the holes. After you started doing stuff and you're like, oh, I don't get this, or you want to understand a dead master's what do you call it? A dead master's like get into his head. So for example, like a friend of mine just wrote a book on Akira Kurosawa, who's dead. But she, but if you want to understand it, go into his head of how he makes movies, you have to read a book. Watch all his movies first and then read the book, right? Here are a bunch of links that I pulled together for you guys of some of some of the best fight scenes that are out there that have influenced me. And to answer your question, can I talk about directing while also being on the film? Yes, I can talk about that. So I am an actor, and I started directing because back in the day, before I made my first film, which was 2012 with Film Lab, in 2011, all I was getting called in was manicurist and tiger mom. And it killed me. I mean, that's clearly not what I do, right? I mean, that's not what I moved to Hollywood for. And I still, by the way, don't get the roles that I'm getting better roles, but I'm not getting the roles that I moved to Hollywood for. Still a little bit far away, but so it's absolutely doable. And the way to do it is understanding that acting is an internal process and directing is an external process. Like acting, you have to be all about what's in here and let it come out without looking at the world. Directing, however, is all about the entire world, right? Like if I'm looking here at this frame of mine, I'm looking at me, the actor. I'm looking at the details I'm getting from my set behind me, which is the moon and the earth, and why is it important, and why is the earth lit up on one side and not the other, and we understand now by that image that the sun is over on this side because and so now we have a general understanding of the environment and where we are in the world. And that's your job as
Toy,
a director.
if I can stop you there for a hot second, we might have to take a break really quick. If you have more questions, we can definitely come back to the Zoom room. But do we have more questions? Toy, do you have more things that you would like to share?
Oh, no, I think I'm good. But I mean, I'm happy to answer questions. I mean, this is